my kids are trying to be sneaky behind me like I don't hear them. Hello, welcome to TressTalk with Gerdie with our Facebook Live online tutorial for at-home care and maintenance for your hair. I look at it as hair is hair, you know, but I do recognize that some people, it's a little bit harder for you to adjust to be able to navigate your curls. A couple of things is to, one, embrace your natural curls. Don't try to fight them. Don't try to fight your hair, you know, work with your hair. As people of color or people with curly hair, we have a lot of options to be able to manipulate the hair and twist it and curl it and just do different things and show a lot of beauty in our hair. One of the biggest things I want to do today, I just want to slow it down a little bit and go over different textured techniques to be able to do with the hair. So we have our natural hair client. Her name is Erica. Erica, say hello. Hi. And so her hair was cleansed, conditioned, and I left the conditioning cap on it to be able to maintain some moisture so it can stay and have some moisture on it. And so I'm going to go over being able to care for your natural hair, to care for the texture, to make sure you're not abusing it or ripping it out in an attempt to take care of it for you, for your children, for friends, family, or what have you. Understanding that the hair is a fiber, how to be able to care for it without damaging it. One thing I always say, especially for those who have transitioned from being relaxed, being chemically straightened, or having other chemical services, is that the purpose of those, they normally allow for you to be able to care for your hair faster, more timely, and for it to be easier. It's not necessarily, get the detangling comb for me? It's not necessarily that, you know, we want to be of another race, okay? And so, Lord knows, I love being a black woman. I'm very, very secure in that and appreciate that, and I celebrate myself. However, focusing on curly hair, I can't stress enough how you want to work with your curl pattern. When transitioning, it's hard sometimes to be able to know what necessarily works. And so some people get frustrated and are just like, you know what, I don't want to be bothered, or I don't have time for that. And we'll go back to chemically straightening it or braiding it and not doing anything with it. But I encourage you to take some time, especially now. We have the time, you know, for those who are home, to be able to care for and work with your hair. Okay, so as you can see, this is my natural hair client. Her hair is curly, and so it's just totally wet. One thing that you must remember after you properly cleanse your scalp, the hair, and you properly condition it, is that you want to make sure that you're using a leave-in conditioner. A leave-in is to be able to allow for your hair to, for you to be able to protect the hair, protect it against heat, to be able to detangle. Especially with curly hair, one of the biggest complaints, or one of the biggest areas of concern for clients, is that the hair is so tangly. So using a good leave-in conditioner will help you to be able to detangle the hair. One thing to make sure is that depending on what you're going to do and depending on the thickness or the density of your hair will determine what type of leave-in conditioner you use. I have some examples here of my favorite go-tos. You can have a liquid leave-in conditioner. You can have a cream-based liquid conditioner that's more liquid than others, and then you have your actual cream-based leave-in. So this right here, I've been using it for years. It's Design Essentials. It's the Bamboo and Silk. It's a leave-in conditioner, and it's also a great blow-dry lotion. So it has conditioning emollients in it to be able to allow you to comb through the hair, detangle it, but it's also fairly light so that when you are blow drying the hair, should you choose to do that, it won't be weighed down. KeraCare has a line for natural hair, and it's called True Textures. This is a leave-in conditioner that it's liquid, but it's heavier than this. So this is all liquid. It's like water running. This is a liquid enough to be able to spray through the nozzle, but it's a little bit thicker. I don't know if you could see it. For heavier, it's a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit heavier. Not to say that it's going to weigh the hair down, but you know your hair texture and you know your hair type. If your hair is very dry or it's very tightly coiled, you'll be okay with using a liquid leave-in that has a cream consistency. Then you have your actual cream leave-in conditioners. This is one of my all-time favorite, Aestelance. It's a leave-in balm. It's the Dudley's PCA Moisture Retainer. It's a cream. They have similar consistencies, so these are a little bit heavier as your leave-in. I'm just going to put the Aestelance leave-in through her hair. One of the main things as well for you to remember with natural hair is saturation. You want to be able to have enough product where it evenly gets through the hair, but you don't want to have so much product that it weighs the hair down. A lot of times people have the issue of product buildup, and they say that they don't like the product, or it didn't work, or it just sat on my hair. And 9 times out of 10, sometimes we're using too much. So I'll always say less is more. Start with a little bit, and if you find that it's not enough, you can always add some more, as opposed to taking dollops of product, slapping it on the hair, and then you're left with the hair is rendered lifeless. It's not only is it heavy, it can be tacky, and when it dries, it can dry flaky. So a lot of times it's not that the product isn't good, it's our misuse or misapplication. Okay? So with the curly hair, we shampooed it, we gave it a great shampoo. When your hair is curly, regardless to how thick or how dense it is, it's key to make sure to get not only through your hair, but to make sure you get in the scalp. 9 times out of 10 people are bypassing the scalp, and that is your first line of defense on what's outside. I always say healthy hair starts from the inside out. So your diet, what you feed yourself, plays a major role in how your hair is. But once you get to the epidermis, to your skin, everything you do on the skin or your scalp skin has an effect with how your hair turns out as well. A lot of people, especially with us that have curly hair, we're putting so much product that we have so much product buildup that we're clogging our pores at our scalp. So when you do take the time out to cleanse your hair, make sure you focus and you have great products that you're using to care for the scalp. I have a quick video I did this weekend. I just didn't edit it yet. By the way, editing and me. Anyhow, so I'm going to post it on exactly just that I'm talking about with focusing on the scalp. I should post it by tomorrow. And the importance of that. As a leave-in, and I'm using a detangling comb. I told you all one of my favorite detangling brushes is the Felicia Underwood Loving Your Hair. What I like about this detangling brush is the fact that these come apart. They come apart, so while you're working with it, you're able to use it to detangle the hair while it's wet. The best time to use this detangling brush is while you have product in your hair. So right now, she doesn't have conditioner, but she has the leave-in. She has a loose curl pattern, so it's fairly easy to get through. So starting from the end, working upward. Regardless to your hair pattern, no matter how tight your curl is, you want to use that same practice. You start from your end, you work your way up. Whether you're using a detangling brush or a detangling comb, it's the same thing. You just want to start from the ends, work your way up through the roots. So she's detangled, which is great. I'm going to go over three different techniques. Three different options that you can have. There's something where people are talking about wash and goes. A lot of people are saying wash and goes just do not work for me. I call it a cleanse and go. So you do want to cleanse, condition your hair, and to be able to put a product that will help to hold not only moisture, but hold the styling. And so but it's in mainstream is commonly called a wash and go. The key with having a successful wash and go is making sure, hope y'all can see, can everyone see? Okay. Is making sure that you have enough saturation. You can use minimal product, but you use your greatest tool, which are your fingers. I'm going to use, one of my favorite is the Bronner Brothers Mango Butter Curl Enhancer. It's a lighter cream. It's going to give you minimal hold. It's going to keep the hair moisturized. It's going to eliminate and reduce frizz. And it's going to keep, it has a nice fragrance, and the hair is going to feel nice. Right now, she's about 70% wet. With the mango butter, I don't use it on dripping wet hair. A nice wash and go to be able to put this through your hair is a process called shingling. S-H-I-N-G-L-I-N-G, shingling. So I'm taking, this is about a dime size amount. It's not a lot. You're taking it, you want to emulsify, which is running through your fingers. And with natural hair, depending on how fine your hair is or how thick your hair is, you want to make sure that you fully saturate the hair strands. So now I'm just getting the product in. You want to make sure that you get the product fully in the hair from roots to ends. If the hair is really thick or dense, it doesn't matter the length of the hair. It's what you want to focus on is the density of the hair, how much hair per square foot. So if the hair is really dense, you have to take smaller sections. Getting it all in. I have a little bit left over in my hands. I'm making sure I'm getting the product in. And so now the key with the wash and go is making sure you're using your fingers to work that product in. So I'm clipping the hair away and I'm working it in. And as I see how the hair naturally curls, you see the natural curl pattern with the hair. So you see, I take it, work it through, and you let your fingers work the products in so that it will begin to do its work. And you see how the hair is naturally curling up on its own to its natural curl pattern. The more thick the hair, you can take you can take larger parts, but you still want to make sure that you're getting in enough product and you're working it through the hair. So I'm working it at the root, working it, making sure the product gets in. And then I'm going to leave it there. Once again, I take another small section, working the product through with my hand. I'm not doing what's called a finger coil because I just want to enhance her natural hair. Everyone's hair doesn't grow out like a coil. We're gonna do a classic wash and go. You want your natural curl pattern to show, and some people's curl pattern is like a Z. Some people is very tight. Others, it's very loose. So right now, she has a medium loose curl. I'm not manipulating it to coil it around my hands. I just want her natural curl to show. I'm just making sure that I'm working the product in. All right, keep going. The first few times, especially if you're doing it on yourself, it might take a little while, but other than that, once you get used to it, your hair tends to adapt. So the more you do it, just like for those of us who wrap out here, first learning how to wrap your hair, you're like, oh gosh, I can't do this, or the hair will fall, or it's hard. But after a while, you can wrap it without looking, without a mirror, thank you, Renee, without even having to have a comb. You can just do it with just your brush and keep it moving. Same thing. So I got it all the way in. You have the product, and so her own natural hair is Renee, there's another comment. Come. Her natural hair curl pattern is coming out and it's showing. You see?
Cat.
You see the product?
So, someone named Kata said hi.
Kata? Oh, Katia. Hey, Katia. Hi. Okay, so as you can see, we have it there. Once you get this all the way through the hair, by the time you get to the front, the hair it's going to dry. So we have, you want to invest in a water spray bottle. This one is a tunnel. It does like a fan windmill spray, and this is your classic that it just targets. When doing this, if your hair starts to dry, you want to mist it, and you want to make sure it's wet. This might be frustrating sometimes. I tend to use this as a finisher, and I'll show you why. Once you hit it, you see that it keeps going. It does like a nice spray effect. That's great for after it all or what have you. I don't have water in this, but this one's just going to give you a straight, direct spray, especially when you want to spot wet. Once you have all of your products in and you do your you finish your wash and go, you're going to allow it to air dry. What you can do is that you can use an actual spray oil over all of it once it's done, even if the hair is wet. Oil is not a moisturizer. Oil is a sealant. So after you use your cream, curl enhancer, curl finisher, curl whatever the other names are for curl products, it's okay. I actually encourage you taking a light oil to spray over the whole thing to seal it in. The times when you can use an oil as a treatment to help if you're doing like a mask or a deep treatment or hot oil treatment, that's not what I'm talking about with oil being a sealant. That's very specific, and you have what's called a catalyst, a heat catalyst, to be able to open up the cuticle to receive the treatment. That's different. But oil is not like something that you're going to spray on your hair every day as a moisturizer. I know you see products like that. I know you see even advertisers are saying that, but I'm telling you from years of experience, and I know what I know, oil is not a moisturizer. You can add it to your treatments, you can add it to your conditioners and all, but you don't want to use oil as a moisturizer. Oil is a sealant. In particular, right now, JBCO, like Jamaican black castor oil, coconut oil, olive oil, carrot oil. If you're using them every day, you are going to, if you have not already, you are going to experience excess dryness. You're going to experience brittleness. You're going to wonder why your hair is not receiving whatever you use anymore. Chances are you've OD'd on those oils. They're great, but they're not to be your everyday use. They're really specific for your treatment. It's the same thing as if you go out and you stay in the sun a long time. What's going to happen? You're going to have sunburn. The sun isn't bad in and of itself. The sun is good. We need the sun for some things. However, too much sun, you're going to get sunburn. By using oil as a moisturizer, it's going to render the hair, eventually it's going to render it dry. There are some oils that you can use more often, that you can use in conjunction and you can cocktail with your creams. For instance, my number one oil that I love and that I use regardless to hair type is your jojoba oil, Jojoba. That's a really good oil. It's the one that studies have shown is the closest to the natural oils that we produce in our scalp. So that's the one closest to our human oil, not jojoba, jojoba, Jojoba. And that's a really good oil to use. So with your wash and go, hopefully you guys try this week. Sometimes we want to do a twist set or a two-strand twist set or a braid set. I'm going to go a little bit slower. That was some of the feedback I got. I went a little bit faster the last time. And so once again, if you can't do an actual row, like it looks like a corn row, whether it be a two-strand twist or a braid, you can do individuals. You just want to make sure that you fully saturate, that you have great tension, and that you have something to secure it so that it doesn't unravel and that it's able to set. Understand that the tighter you do it, the more close to your scalp it's going to be. So it's not going to have as much elongation. Okay?
So
you can use the foam to be able to redo your twist. And I'm talking about if you have locks or if you want to, your own hair, if you want to do twists, and say for instance, your hair tends to, you produce a lot of your own oil and your hair tends to be very weighed down, you can definitely use a mousse. I particularly like to use the tropical roots, and once again at the end to seal it. That's one. Another one of my favorite is KeraCare. They have a whole line is True Textures for natural hair, and the buttercream, I love it. It's one of my favorite. I'll use the buttercream on the hair, and Grace, I believe this is how I do your 2-strand twist. Actually, I'll use the buttercream because it's a nice, great, heavy emollient. I'll put it through and I'll go section by section, and then I'll apply the KeraCare foam to be able to do the twist. And that technique is called layering. As opposed to cocktailing is when you take 1 or 2 different things, you mix them all together and then add it to the hair. Layering is putting in one product at a time, which is what I normally would do. For those of you who are well versed and you're able to do the line partings and do your twist or your cornrows going all the way through, more power to you. But this, I'm going to show how you can achieve a great twist out and a great braid set with doing like individual plaits. The purpose of doing this is to be able to set the hair, let it dry overnight, or if you have a hard hat dryer, you can go into the dryer and then take it out. One of my absolute favorite for your really tightly coiled hair that it's the hair, no matter what you put on, it just kind of like sucks it up and it's dry and it doesn't maintain the moisture and all. The first thing, you want to make sure you haven't OD'd with coconut oil or something like that and you're causing that dryness. But there are some people where the hair actually just grows out and it's very tight and it's very dry. With this, the Bronner Brothers Natural Line Stretch My Curl, it is my ultimate go-to right now. I absolutely love it. I like to use it with the hair really, really wet, actually. Earlier, I was saying the mango butter, I like the hair to be somewhat dry, at least 70% dry. The Stretch My Curls, the tighter or more coarse your hair, the drier it is, the more I recommend using the Stretch My Curls on wet hair. Once again, the key is in application and making sure to get that product in. I'm not going to use a lot because, like I said, this hair is a little bit heavy for this type of hair, but I want to be able to go through it and let you see how you can do it yourself without feeling that, oh gosh, I can't do it, doing it going back or down in a cornrow. You can take sections like this. The key, making sure you can see me, is then once, like I said before, making sure you have enough product in it, and then you want to make sure that you comb through the hair enough, and then the next key thing is tension. You're not ripping the hair out the head, but you're giving good enough tension as you're twisting. So as I twist, I'm making sure that I'm still smoothing my hands down the hair strand, and I'm making sure that the tension is staying at the root. So you go all the way. Like I said, I'm keeping the tension here. I'm not ripping her hair out of her head or popping the hair. Because remember, when the hair is wet, it's going to be more weak than if you do it on dry hair. Go all the way through. The product is in there, twisting it, getting it all the way to my end. For the ends, you can just secure it away with a pin. You can use a flexi rod to wrap it. You can also, depending on how full or how tight you want your curl, you can wrap it like this to give a knot. Now this is going to be the tightest that you're going to get. What I love about these textured styles is that you let it dry. I prefer to let it air dry, and then when you take it out, it's going to start off really tight, and as time goes on and you have its natural fall, it falls really, really nicely. You want to make sure that you have enough product in it so that when you do take it out, that you'll still feel that the product is keeping it moisturized, not weighing it down. With your really tight hair, which is what I like this product for, it's not only going to give good memory and good hold, but it's going to give a nice sheen to the hair, a nice suppleness, you know, where the hair feels nice, not only moisturized, but hydrated, you know, so the hair in and of itself inherently is going to feel healthier. So that's if you're doing a 2-strand twist or a braid. If you want it really tight, you'll finish it with a knot. Another example I'm going to do is of an actual braid set. So I'm going to do one more twist. Make sure the product is all the way through. From the root, hold. Can you see? I'm holding it. I'm giving good tension from the root. Twist. 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 Maintaining that tension. Twist, twist, twist. Twist all the way through. When the hair is really curly, the ends will end up twisting around themselves to hold. Once again, to give her maximum tightness and hold, you're going to wrap the hair all the way around. You can secure it with the bobby pin, or depending on how the hair is, it'll hold on its own. Her hair is she has a softer, looser wave, so I don't have anything, and so it won't hold on its own. I would normally, if this was a client, I would put a pin in to hold it, let it set. So you want to separate it, just unravel it, where as opposed to you don't want to pull it, and you don't want to pull it apart from the top to the bottom either. Some of you, I'm sure, have experienced it where you're taking it out from the top to the bottom. Then when you get to the bottom, it's tangly or it gets really fuzzy. So with the braid as well, like I said, this is for those who aren't able to do your a cornrow or to follow it along the scalp. This is for, you can achieve those looks without having to do that. You could take the size will be dependent on your hair length. If your hair is really short, like my length, then I would recommend you taking smaller sections. If your hair is medium length or longer, you can take bigger sections. If your hair is really long, you can get a great textured set by doing 3 or 4. When my hair was long, I wouldn't do more than 5 or 6 big cornrows to get a nice wave set. Okay, so once again with the braid, you want to make sure that the hair is detangled from roots to end. Take it out. And you can braid under or over. Doesn't matter. What matters is you keeping great tension throughout. And when I say tension, I don't mean pulling at your hair, pulling at the scalp. Tension is just making sure the actual hair you're working with, you're making sure it's taut. What you can do, and it's going to give you a nice bend at the end, is just take the ends and just pin it like that. Get my pin. You can do that and you can go right to sleep on it. So you can do that and you can just pin it under or through. And this will give a nice, when you take it out, it'll give a nice bevel to your braid set once you take it out. And so those are how you can achieve doing a twist or a braid set without necessarily doing it in the cornrow form. Going back over the first demo, if you're doing a wash and go, you want to make sure you secure the hair away and you get your fingers manipulating the product in your hair to be able to encapsulate your hair to give you a great end result with the wash and go. I always recommend with the wash and go, you letting it air dry naturally. Gives really beautiful results. If you're using the right product, the right amount of product, and you're manipulating it through the hair using your fingers. Your fingers are your God-given combs. Use them. Work with your hair. Don't fight your hair. If you have a certain way that your hair falls, which is called your natural fall, work with that as opposed to trying to force a part and make the hair go somewhere it's not. I personally like after doing these sets. I like them like day 3 and further after, you know, they kind of fallen into their own natural fall. I think that's really it. Oh, one thing, this is one of my newer favorites. I went to this texture class, I think back in February, and Mazzani has this this line. It's called True Textures, and this is a perfect hold coil gel. Now this is going to really hold the hair, and it's going to be hard. It's not hey Grace, it's not going to flake, but this is going to give you a really strong hold. I did a finger coil set on one of my naturals that she has a tapered cut, and in here it came out really beautifully. And she's right here. Say hello.
Hi.
And she has she's become a little designer of herself. This is her doll. This is Mayel, and she's starting to make clothes. So she actually took one of Daddy's old shirts and she made some pants, and that's something. And she took one of her pants and she made a tube top. Love it. All right. So going over the leave-ins once again to recap. With your leave-ins, you want to make sure that you have you can do a liquid leave-in, which is really great. But whoever else wants to order one of the at-home kits, just send me a DM or a message, and we can go back and forth with, not back and forth, but we'll have a virtual consultation so that I know what to be able to curate for you. I have a plethora of products and stuff that I use, but I make it that is customized for you and your needs. To answer your question, the kits are customized. I do a consultation with you so that you're not getting anything that you don't need. Products that we know that I love their performance, I've seen how they've worked, and I know that they will work well. With your leave-ins, you want to remember you have very liquid leave-ins, which are great. You have the in-between leave-in. It's liquid enough to spray, but it's a little thicker in consistency. So this is a Design Essentials one that I use. This is KeraCare, the True Textures that I use. You also have your heavier cream leave-ins. The drier you might find that your hair may be, or the heavier your hair may be, you want to go and do a leave-in. Aestelance is really, it's one of my higher end lines that I really love their products, the performance. This is a leave-in balm, really, really good. And Dudley's, tried and true, old school. I'm still very old school with some stuff because they work. Leave-in. So you want to make sure that after you cleanse and condition, you're using a great leave-in. Now with regard to twisting, if you're redoing twists on your locks, do not negate using an actual foam. You'd be surprised how foams can really help in retwisting and styling locks. So for instance, the Tropical Roots, another line from Bronner Brothers, this is a powerhouse on natural hair. I will take some older pictures on clients that I've used and do like a little montage on what I've used this on with the hair. 2-strand twists, twist updos, locks to redo locks, really, really a powerhouse. I seal the deal with spray oil, Tropical Roots. It's in the same line. It has the same, like a tropical, it has papaya and baruti, which gives it a nice tropical fragrance. You use it, powerhouse. With KeraCare, another combination that I like to twist with is the buttercream. And the buttercream, you can use it on dry hair as well. It's a heavier cream. I don't know if you can see, it's a heavier cream. And I like this. I don't recommend using it on relaxed hair because this is heavy, but I do like using it on unrelaxed hair. Really, really nice. I'll use it, run it through, and I'll use it as my base on the hair. And then one or two ways. I'll either twist all of the hair with this, and then I'll use the KeraCare foam to set over it, or if the hair doesn't get too tangled, I'll do what's called layering. I'll put the buttercream in each section, comb it through, and then I'll spray the foam on the hair, and then I'll twist that way. Really, really nice. It gives you great memory. The hair still feels moisturized. It's not going to be hard and crunchy. Neither will you get hard and crunchy with the Tropical Roots. That's another one of my go-tos for twisting, setting, braid set, knots, the hair. Like I said, this is one of my newest ones. I went to a texture event in the city in February, and it was the Texpert Collective with Tippy Shorter. She's a sweetheart. She's the global director for Mazzani, and she put me on to just Mazzani, and they have like a miracle leave-in cream. But this is one of my favorites. It's going to give you nice shine, a nice hold, and but it's a strong hold. It won't flake. So with this one, just be mindful. Less is more. It's going to give you a harder hold. Still, and it has a nice fragrance, but still, it's not a hard hold where you're damaging the hair unless you try to go through it and, okay, earring, bye. Unless you're trying to go through it and try to like comb through it. You don't want to do that. Stretch My Curls is for your really, really tight. If you find that your hair is really dry and really hard to get through or to hold a twist set that looks nice where it doesn't look like ashy, Stretch My Curl. And I like to use it. I suggest using it on wet hair and allowing it to air dry. Or if you have to go under the dryer, go under the dryer. But it's really, really really good. Mango Butter is also a curl enhancer. Both of them actually, they eliminate frizz. They moisturize the hair while you're getting a nice moderate hold. Mango Butter is for your looser curl, wavier hair, coolie hair, lighter. It gives you a nice hold, eliminates frizz. If you look, the most recent picture I did on, I think Renee's birthday. No, not her birthday. I did it for, to say that I had a video on YouTube, and that's her hair. This is what I used while the hair was wet. I used it to twist her hair. She left her hair in with twists for a week or maybe a little bit over a week, and then I took it out. So that's the Mango Butter. Really, really nice. There's different gels and stuff that you can use for the sides. I'll use this one. It's a firm hold curling gel in the same line. A little goes a long way. I don't use this only on the hair alone. I always cocktail it with one of the creams to be able to give me some added hold. This is also one of my favorites. KeraCare has an edge control, and that's actually what I have now. Yeah. So that's really, really all I have for today. Making sure that you use your products, you use your fingers, manipulate it, take small sections, focus on the root to the ends. One last thing, when you're trying to cleanse your hair after having one of these, after you have one of these textured styles, you don't want to just wet the hair and go in it with shampoo. Chances are going to tangle the hair, and it's going to be so hard to get through it. Depending on how tight your hair is and how tight your hair may tangle, or how tight your twist, finger coil, braid set, whatever textured style you did, you want to be able to wet the hair, fully wet it, and then you can your first step can be adding a conditioner, massaging the conditioner in it, and then detangling the hair with the conditioner in it, rinsing all of that out, and then proceed with your cleansing process. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to TressTalk with Gerdie. I appreciate you. You can DM or send an email or text me with regard to getting kits. So please shoot me an email. It's easier for me to keep track and make sure I get to everybody. Info, INFO, at theboutiqueny.com. Once again, I'll load the video. And so, yes, Renee said, can you please follow her and Carver on TikTok? It's RK Gordon 2020 on TikTok. But in all seriousness, with your kits, you can DM me, send me an email, and we can start the virtual consultation to make sure you get great products for your hair. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next week. Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, we go live. Bye. God bless you. Love you.